Hello, Pastor Doug, back again with another Bible brief. Today I want to take a look at a very important verse, and this is from Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20, which reads, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who substitute darkness for light and lightness for darkness, who substitute bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." This is a hugely important verse, because it describes how God views what is good and what is evil, and it describes how evil man can be. How do you judge any ideology, political movement, thought, teaching, whatever it might be? Does it conform to God or not? And here we have this incredible warning about those people who actually call evil good and good evil. It says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil." You know, those who say that abortion is a great right that women have, or that you can sexually mutilate children in the name of freedom or something of that nature. Those are incredible evils. And yet so many of our society calls those things good. And yet the good things, the fear of the Lord, the holiness of God, the worship of God, the truth of Christianity, that's increasingly being called evil in our society. Matter of fact, that's actually one of the great changes in our society. We are seeing for the first time a mass movement, or at least the majority of society, who actually think Christianity is evil. Not just that Christianity is false or superstitious, but Christianity is evil. But how do we define evil, and how do we define good? Look at the end of the preceding verse. "And let the purposes of the Holy One of Israel draw near, and come to pass that we may know it. That which is evil is against God's revealed will, as found in his moral law." God defines what is evil. So if you reject God's moral law, you are by definition evil. Therefore, what is good? That which is pleasing to God and which is found in his moral law. So when we look to God's moral law, that which is good. But let's hear this warning. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Because why? They actually substitute darkness for light and light for darkness. They crave the darkness and they think it's light, and they're repulsed by the light. They actually like that which is bitter, that which is contrary to God's law, and they call it sweet. And that which is truly sweet, God's commandments, they find it bitter. And notice how this next verse goes. "Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and clever in their own sight." Those who reject God's moral law think they're being wise, but really they're being fools. So, let us strive to do that which is good and reject that which is evil. Let us not be afraid to proclaim what is truth and define everything by God's law. And when we define God's law, let us always remember the purpose of the law. One of the purposes of the law, to be a tutor to Christ. Because let's be honest, no one keeps the law perfectly. Yes, we proclaim it. Yes, we desire to live by it. But our hope is not in the law, but in he who has kept the law fully and whose righteousness is credited to us. His name is Jesus Christ. Well, I hope that helps. And as always, Christ's peace and grace to you all. Amen.